Hello there, it's Deacon John, and I'd like to ask you for a favor. Now, I know for many of you, I have immediately made you feel uncomfortable, and that is certainly not my intent. Actually, it's quite the opposite. I only wish for everyone who comes through the doors at St. Mary's to feel not only comfortable, but welcomed and accepted and loved. I open by asking for a favor to demonstrate how, when we are uncomfortable, our feelings can influence how we react to certain situations or requests. When we're comfortable, we open ourselves up. We are ready to give and receive, and we willingly respond to the needs of others. Case in point is how we treat our family and our friends. We've built lasting bonds and loving relationships with them that instill in us a sense that we would do anything for them. No questions asked. Whether it be as simple as a ride to the store or as difficult as, say, donating an organ. Whatever it takes, that's what we do. But when we're not comfortable, it becomes much more difficult for us to do the work that needs to be done. How often have we been stopped at a traffic light and seen someone asking for money, or had the opportunity to do some other charitable act, but we were deterred by our own sense of discomfort? It happens all the time. Whatever the reason, it's just how we're wired. We rarely seek out uncomfortable experiences. Why would we? Well, I'll tell you why. Because that's where some of the most necessary work is done. Doing the tough tasks, asking the tough asks, rolling up our sleeves and digging in deep to help those who need it the most. For example, over the past several weeks, we have focused heavily on the importance of stewardship. Some of our parishioners have even shared with us the joys that come from being part of this vibrant parish community, how they have shared their time and their talent with others, and how that has changed their lives. But last week, in a role that I do not envy, Father Tim had to challenge us to consider our financial obligation as well, our treasure. Now that's a tough ask, and it's one that I'm sure makes all of us feel at least a little bit uncomfortable. But it is necessary. Since we rely 100% on the generosity of this community to keep the doors of St. Mary's open, the question has to be asked. And how we answer that question is our way of doing what Jesus refers to in Matthew's Gospel as repaying to God what belongs to God. In fact, all our readings this weekend, in one way or another, pose the same question. How can God work for good in a world that doesn't believe in God? One that puts more importance on worldly endeavors than on faith. A question that in large part still exists today. And the short answer is this: God chooses people who he knows will do his work, whether they believe in him or even know who he is. And how the Holy Spirit works through those people to accomplish his works of charity through their faith, their hope, and their love. In other words, he chooses all of us. And just as we believe that God never gives us more than we can handle, we must also believe that we should offer up to him whatever gifts we have to serve him and his people. And that's the beauty of what happens here at St. Mary's. We do work for good. We do help to accomplish his works, and we do offer up whatever gifts we have. And it's been that way here for a very, very long time. But for it to continue, we must always look for ways to be better, to serve more people, to bring more people into our faith community, and to always strive to work for the common good. And that's what our recent ministry fair was all about. For those who were able to join us, and even for those who were, let me just say, wow. It was an absolutely incredible event. Nearly 250 people showed up because something inside of them needed to be fed. And I refuse to believe it was just the free food and the beer. But something inside of them said, maybe there is something that I can get involved with, or maybe there's something more I can do that I'm not already doing. Hundreds of people, dozens of ministries, offering countless opportunities. That's what stewardship is all about. And whether it's an event that happens once a week, or once a month, or once a year, it doesn't matter. And yes, we may have to move out of our comfort zones a little bit, but with so many choices, there's bound to be something for everyone. And in the end, when we give of ourselves, every little bit helps and everyone benefits. And so my favor is this. I ask you to pray on what your gifts may be and how you might be able to use those gifts to serve others. Feel free to reach out to anyone on the staff or to call the parish office. And remember, as St. Paul tells us, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Thank you, and God bless.